Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have another one of those examples where people want to appear virtuous, they want to push an agenda, and the people that get harmed are children. Because it's always children, because they use children as their shock troops. They have to, they obsess really over children. They do this so that children accept that this becomes the norm. Abuse becomes normal. And so what we have here is another school, because it's always in schools, isn't it? These kind of things that are removing individually sexed toilets to have gender neutral toilets. And of course the upshot of this is that girls refuse to use them because they're full of boys, and these boys are filming them, and the girls are therefore actually harming themselves by what's happened, by the decisions this school has made. Parents need to be at the gate looking for blood. They need to be absolutely united behind this, be up there, make no mistake that they will pull their children out until this thing is sorted. But again, it's one of these things where, we want to look virtuous, we don't want to be appearing as ists and phobes, we want to make sure that those mentally ill activists with the very loud voices don't shout at us and call us names, because we're cowards. We're too cowardly to stand up for the rights of children, that we're going to actually harm children. Let's have a look at this piece. So, fury over secondary school's new gender neutral loos that leave young girls too scared to use them due to, they say, pupils filming on their phones. They mean boys filming on their phones. Parents at Walsall Academy near Wolverhampton were not consulted before the change, so the school took it upon themselves to make a change that could have involved upsetting, harming children without consultation of the parents of those children. They were dealing with sexual matters without parental consent, probably keeping it a secret. There's a word for that. It's called grooming. The head teacher of that school is a groomer, and there is no two ways about it. That is what it is. He or she has done this without consultation of parents, because they know the moment they suggested this to parents, parents would be up in arms, and they would, to a man and woman, reject it. Teenage girls feel they have to wait until they're back home to go to the toilet. And there have even been reports of pupils recording each other in the toilets. And when you are sitting there and you're holding it all day, and we've all done it, we've all got, I'm busted. But when you're holding it and holding it and holding it, you run the risk of serious, life-changing injury. And that is what the teachers of this school are imposing on children, as well as exposing girls to boys in intimate areas, in supposedly safe spaces. That's gone. Girls are being forced to do things often very intimate. We're talking, menstruation and things, with a boy sitting right next to her, and possibly even throwing a camera over into a booth to film her doing it. And the teachers think that this is acceptable. And that tells you all you need to know about the teachers in this school. And I can guarantee without fail that the grown women who are teachers in that school will not be sharing a shitter with a man. Oh no, the teachers' toilets, they'll be separate. Because it's the agenda. It's always the fucking agenda. And they will throw children to the wolves to push this bullshit. A secondary school has been blasted after installing gender-neutral toilets, leaving girls refusing to drink throughout the day because they're too scared to use them. Parents at Walsall Academy near Wolverhampton say they have been left fearful for the new system that will leave 11-year-olds sharing lavatories with 18-year-olds of the opposite gender. There have even been reports of pupils recording each other in the toilets as teenage girls are forced to wait until they're back home before relieving themselves. Eddie Hughes, Conservative MP for Walsall North, wrote to the school after being contacted by parents and pupils. He said the main concern among pupils and parents is a lack of privacy. There's also the health implications, the psychological implications. There is so much wrong with this identity politics, virtue signalling bunch of wankers that force children into this shit, I want to see them stand there and explain to the parents why they think that this is a good idea, and then respond when those parents tell them to go fuck themselves and explain why it's so bad. These teachers don't have the balls for that. They impose this without consultation because they haven't got the balls to face the the parents and explain. They impose it by diktat and expect people just to comply. Well, we shall not comply. There is no compliance. And the parents need to pull their teachers out and make formal complaints. And then for every child that has suffered any kind of injury, any kind of upset, any kind of psychological damage, they must get onto their solicitors and sue the local education authority and the head teacher of that school personally. And if once those writs go in, and there's 30, 40, 50 writs going in, each for £250,000, say, that policy will change like that. Because when that teacher is having to sell her house or his house to pay the damages, no other teacher will do that. That bullshit will end immediately when they see people fired and having to sell their homes to pay damages. Parents have been informed that pupils are recording each other in toilets. Many pupils feel uncomfortable and are not using the toilets, often having to wait until they go home. As teachers advise, they must use the facilities available at lunchtime. Parents have safeguarding concerns given that the age of pupils using this facility is between Year 7 pupils, 11 years old, and 6th form, 18 plus. So that is actually 18 plus. That's grown adults, men, going into toilets with basically 11-year-old girls. Where is the safeguarding? Who is signing off on this? Who is going to admit that they are groomers and that they are abusing children? Who will admit to it? Because if it isn't the head teacher, somebody's done it. And if we can't find out who it is, then it's the head teacher. Sue the head teacher. Soon sue the local education authority. Sue them all. Get this changed. Due to the concerns about privacy, this has created anxiety, to say the bloody least, among the pupils and parents, especially those who have recently progressed from primary school into secondary school. Additionally, parents of young women have also raised concerns about the safe spaces available to them in school. Parents raised that they were not consulted about the change and only found out from their children. Of course, because, as I say, these teachers are frit. They are spineless wankers who push their own agenda because they think if we impose it, they'll have to obey. But they dared go and tell people in advance what their fucking plans are, because the parents will be up there and they will set fire to that school. And it wouldn't surprise me if this ends up with, let's just say, physical altercations between parents and teachers over something like this. They say they're particularly worried because of the biological and sanitary needs of teenage girls. One female student even developed a UTI after she felt uncomfortable using the toilets, and that can lead to sterilisation. This is what these teachers are pushing. They're pushing for the physical damage of children because they want to make a point. They want to push their sick, degenerate agenda. We need to clear the stables. Any teacher needs to be told, you do this shit, you don't only just lose your job there, you will be struck off. You will never, ever work as a teacher again. And you will be on a register that you will sign every week for the rest of your life. Because that's what these teachers are. They are abusing children. It is believed that only the ground floor toilet block has changed, but the school has a view to change all the others during the summer holidays, because of course they do. And it's just anything they can do to really screw with children and to point, and to push this sick agenda. Councillor Izzy Hussain, who represents the Blakenhall ward in Walsall, said that parents have been contacting worried about the changes. I tell you what would make that. I tell you, right now, you need a group, if there's any Muslims in that school, you need those Muslim fathers to go up there and insist that their daughters ain't happening, and then say it's against Islam. And I tell you what, you get half a dozen of those going up there and saying that head teacher will shit their load. Their arse will expand and they will drop 3 days worth of lunch when they find out that it's going to upset Islam. I tell you, they wouldn't, because they haven't got balls. There's no balls. And the worst thing is, there's no decency anymore. What the hell are these people on? Why do they think that this is acceptable? For them to even consider this acceptable just goes to show how sick they are in their minds. Anyway, some of the parents who have spoken to me said there are children. This is Izzy Hussain. Are saying there are children taking photographs in there, and there are kids of all ages from 11 to 18. Well, 18, you're not a child, you're an adult. So there is adults in the children's toilets. Adult men in with 11-year-old girls. Well done to the local education authority for really safeguarding those children. Reacting to the news, one lady said, "This is totally wrong." I think everyone says this is totally wrong, except for those degenerate wankers. He said, "There are girls of that age just starting their periods at a time like that. The last thing they need are boys coming into the private area, and men going into a private area." He said, "We're trying to create a safe space for people, and then they do things like this. This being inclusive just goes too far. We need to stop pandering to this inclusivity shit. And we need to say to people, no, this is a woman's safe space. Fuck off if you're a boy. This is a boy's safe space. Girls, keep out." And it's as simple as that. "Oh, but I'm a boy who pretends to be a woman." Yeah, you said it yourself. You're a boy. Get in the boys' changing rooms. Have a piss like a man. Do not be sitting there pretending you're a girl. It's all shit. Another, called Hazel, fumed, "It's disgusting. Since when has it been wrong to ask for privacy? If I had children in that school and they put in these toilets, I would take my children out immediately and homeschool them." And I have been saying this. You can go back and look at all the videos I've done about education, about schools, and about them pushing this degenerate agenda. That I say, if you've got the ability, homeschool them, because it's the only way you can protect children, because the left-wing unions keep pushing this disgusting stuff left, right and centre. What next? They'll be talking about anal masturbation in schools for 5-year-olds. I've done the video on that. They bring in drag acts in to show them that there's 11 agendas or 11 genders, things like that. It's bullshit, it's wrong. And what they're doing is normalising the abuse of children, so that as time goes on and as society moves on, eventually these sick fuckers will be sitting there with 5-year-olds. And you know exactly what they'll be doing to them. And it'll be seen as, oh, we've made it normal now. No, not if it was my 5-year-old, not if it was a 5-year-old of anyone I know. And if I was there, I would have their balls in a jar. These people are just sick. And get hold of this teacher. Every parent needs to get up to that school and demand the head teacher explains the thinking behind it and ask why they did not consult the parents. And I think you know why. It's because, as I say, they're all groomers. And I'm done. I'm so angry about shit like this. Why is it so hard just to leave children alone? Coming up. You know, it doesn't do me any good. This is 2 in one day involving the abuse of children for political ends. When will it stop? When will we rise up en masse and deal with the problem? We have to make a stance. If we don't, we are going to raise an entire generation who think that this is normal, which means that their kids are just going to be meat. We need to show this generation that it is not normal, that they are protected, and that the sick mothers that do this will get punished. And I mean severely punished. They will be taught lessons that they will learn. And it needs to start. We need to reject the bullshit. We need to reject all this woke wankery and the faux tolerance. Oh, you must tolerate this, you must tolerate that. And they're full of shit about tolerance. Because the moment you say to them, well, you're going to have to tolerate my views. Oh no. Tolerance only works one way. They can't tolerate what I say, but I'm forced to tolerate what they say. I don't tolerate what they say. They are degenerate scum. They are filth. They are groomers. They are paeds. We all know exactly what they are. And we need to chase them out of town. And it's as simple as that. Because otherwise, well, you might be handing your children over to them the way it's going. Take a breath. I'm going to stop now. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, but mostly leave a like. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, for God's sake, monitor your children at all times, and goodbye.